Temperatures right now are ranging anywhere from the 30s to the 50s. So we have 50s inland. Here's a look at what's ahead for this week. We have several rain chances beginning tomorrow, but don't look at this and think that it's going to be raining all day long every single day, because that's not going to be the case. But we're going to have several waves that are coming through this week. Couple thunderstorm chances as well. As of right now, I'm not overly concerned about any strong or severe thunderstorms, but it's certainly going to be something that we keep a close eye out for, especially with temperatures warming late this week into the 60s. Right now, again, 30s at the lakefront, but we're up to 50 in places like Joliet. Same thing in LaSalle. Here's where we're headed over the next few hours. Temperatures area-wide dropping into the 30s. I'll have a look at your rainy forecast ahead.
All right, thanks for that, Emily. Tensions in the Middle East are high after weekend attacks by the U.S. and Iran that took out the nation's supreme leader.
President Trump says the U.S. military is, quote, knocking the crap out of Iran, and that, a quote, a big wave has yet to come.
Yeah, it is. The question ahead is the U.S. headed for war? Joni is downtown with local reaction. Joni?
Well, the people are taking to the streets. There's going to be an emergency protest here at the corner of Congress and Michigan this evening to protest war on Iran. Meanwhile, Iran is promising retaliation against Americans. So here in Chicago, law enforcement is on alert. There have been numerous anti-war protests in response to the U.S. bombings on Iran. Iranian Americans are thanking President Trump for taking action against a brutal regime. Iran has retaliated with strikes on Bahrain, Dubai, and Israel, as well as American military bases in the region. So there is concern for the safety of Americans traveling and here at home. Mayor Brandon Johnson says Chicago police are planning for public safety.
My concerns for Chicago is what it always is, to ensure that we are safe. Been in constant communications with our superintendent and counterintelligence to ensure the safety and security of the residents of this city.
And demonstrators plan to take over the street at 6 p.m. Chicago police say there is no actionable intelligence related to Chicago, but they are paying special attention to houses of worship. Reporting live downtown, I'm Joni Lum, Fox Chicago.
Illinois wants to be the first state with a Jeffrey Epstein commission that can really investigate, but lawmakers still have to sign off. The plan will let the group use subpoenas and hand any evidence to the Attorney General. The commission digs into sex trafficking, bribery, corruption, any Illinois tie to Epstein. They can pull records, take statements, recommend charges. Survivors could join in and get support. The Attorney General could call a grand jury if it comes to that. Hear how survivors and advocates are reacting.
To the survivors, you should not have had to fight this hard for justice. We are here because we stand with you and for you.
If justice remains a locked door in Washington, then let our state be the battering ram. Let Illinois lead the way. Other states will follow.
The bill goes to Springfield next week. If it passes, the commission could start digging into Epstein cases in Illinois by summer.
Time to make your voice heard. Early voting for the Illinois primary is now available across Chicago and suburban Cook County. Voters in Chicago can vote at any one of the early voting sites, regardless of where you live in the city. Same-day voter registration is also available. You will need 2 forms of ID, one with your current address on it. So now let's talk vote by mail. In Chicago, election officials say more than 24,000 vote by mail ballots have already been received. This election will be the first in Illinois since the U.S. Post Office changed its postmark policy.
What that means is that even if you deposit your ballot in the mail days before Election Day, it may not be postmarked for several days afterwards. And if your ballot is postmarked after March 17th, the Board of Elections cannot count that ballot. For this reason, we recommend that voters mail their completed vote-by-mail ballot at least 1 week before Election Day.
There are also secure ballot drop-off boxes at all voting sites. And if you want to vote by mail, there is still time to sign up. That deadline to apply is 5 p.m. on March 12th. Sample ballots can be found online at chicagoelections.com.
DuPage County wants voters to know ICE is not coming to the polls.
Leslie Moreno shows us what they're doing and how it could matter statewide. Leslie?
Hey guys, good evening. At the DuPage County Clerk's Office held a press conference earlier this evening at around 3 o'clock. The whole point of this was to remind people and reiterate that any interference by ICE or any federal agents at any of these polling locations will not be tolerated. DuPage County Clerk Gene Kasbarick is sending a direct message to Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Stay away from local polling places. This after growing concerns about ICE potentially targeting polling places. During a press conference today, she pointed out that it is a federal crime for military and federal agents to interfere in elections or intimidate voters, a crime punishable by up to 5 years in prison. The clerk says DuPage County's Vote Anywhere system makes it impossible to target specific polling places. Voters can cast a ballot at any of the county's 248 locations on Election Day. But again, tonight, the clerk wants people to know that they are safe to come out and vote.
We want to warn ICE to stay away, and they just really have no chance of success here, so just stay away. They have concerns that there's an ICE presence. I was told that it never really left from the fall, and it's going to be ramping up again this month.
The county is also launching a hotline starting today. This is where people can report any ICE sightings at any of these polling locations. We'll have all that information on foxchicago.com. We'll toss it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Leslie, thank you. Big win for kids at a charter school in Humboldt Park.
Santiago Elementary gets to stay put after CPS cut a deal with the Chicago Archdiocese. That deal ensures the school will remain there for at least the next 10 years. The Archdiocese owns the property where Santiago Elementary is housed, so the school's future of Santiago was put in jeopardy after the Archdiocese put the property up for sale. Community members in Humboldt Park pushed CPS for months to make sure it didn't get sold and that students still had a place to go to school.
What we see here today is a 10-year master lease, which will allow for another generation of kids from Humboldt Park to attend Santiago School, lessen the stress on parents who have been concerned about where they're going to send their child.
In December, CPS voted to fund the charter school after its owner, Acero Schools, wanted to close it down due to declining enrollment.
Spirit Illinois is fighting to keep 2 high schools open. CPS wants to close them before the year is done, saying Spirit doesn't have the money to keep going. CPS plans to move 500 students out mid-year. Spirit leaders say CPS gave them 48 hours to come up with $3 million. They started a GoFundMe, but call it a long shot. They're asking for a chance to just let the students finish the year.
The fear of ICE raids and targeted family separations, to tell them now, months before graduation, that their school is disappearing, tells them one thing: the system thinks you're not worth saving.
90% of these students are Latino, 2/3 are low income, and more than half are English learners.
Shots fired at Chicago police. Investigators say a gunman shot at 2 marked squad cars in the Auburn-Gresham neighborhood early this morning. The suspect then tried to drive away but crashed into some parked cars just about 2 blocks away. They were arrested, but charges have not been announced. CPD says no one was shot and officers did not return fire, but a weapon was recovered.
Coming up, a family in Chicago is in the middle of a war zone stuck in the Middle East.
Still ahead on First at 4, hear from them on how a trip to share their religion landed them inches away from airstrikes being intercepted.
The Pentagon is sending more U.S. forces to the Middle East as President Trump tells Americans the military operation in Iran could go on for 4 to 5 weeks or longer. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have the latest coming up.
Getting back to the conflict in the Middle East, we are learning 6 Americans have now been killed following the start of the U.S. military operation. Now, the president and his cabinet are speaking more publicly about the attacks and what's at stake for Americans.
Caroline Shively brings us up to speed.
President Trump tells Americans to prepare for more casualties as the Pentagon says even more U.S. forces are headed to the Middle East. The USS Spruance firing Tomahawk missiles towards Iran as Operation Epic Fury rages on. President Trump says the U.S. anticipates a 4 to 5 week military operation, but acknowledged it could go far longer than that.
Whatever the time is, it's okay, whatever it takes.
At a Medal of Honor ceremony at the White House, President Trump laid out the U.S.'s major objectives for its military operation, including taking out Iran's ballistic missiles and Navy, preventing Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, and stopping Iranian-funded proxy attacks.
There would come a point where they have so many conventional missiles, so many drones, and it can inflict so much damage that no one can do anything about their nuclear program. No matter what, ultimately, this operation needed to happen.
In response, Iran is threatening a larger regional war, hitting civilian sites in Israel and the Arab Gulf states, including airports and apartment buildings. After Iranian-backed Hezbollah launched rocket attacks into Israel, the IDF fired retaliatory strikes into Beirut on Monday. A Homeland Security memo sent over the weekend also warned of the possibility of lone wolf attacks as a result of the U.S. military operation, but did not detail any specific threats. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox Chicago.
And airspace has largely been shut down in the region, causing around 10,000 flight cancellations over the past few days.
Now, this is leaving travelers stranded and scrambling to figure out what to do. Chelsea Torres picks up our team coverage. She's live at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport.
Chelsea, how is this impacting flights to and from the Middle East?
Well, it's definitely impacting a lot of flights and a lot of passengers here even. Sylvia Terrence, good evening. You know, as of right now, there was supposed to be a flight from Atlanta to Doha tonight, but that is now canceled. I was just talking to a traveler who was expecting to go home to Pakistan tonight, which would have a layover in Abu Dhabi. But now, because of everything that's going on, his flight is canceled. And he said what's typically a 23-hour flight back home to Pakistan may take 3 days, but he's determined to take any routes he can just to get back home. The U.S. Embassy right now is telling all Americans also in several countries to reconsider travel at this time. I want to show you this map. This is just a map of showing these airports that Iran struck. These are airports in Kuwait, Iraq, Bahrain, and the UAE, causing widespread flight suspensions. Dubai in the UAE is one of the busiest airports in the world and the hub for Emirates Airlines. They got the green light to actually operate a limited number of flights tonight, and the airport in Abu Dhabi also allowed a few flights to take off this evening, including 15 evacuation flights, according to Flight Tracker Flight Radar 24. But Doha-based Qatar Airways isn't flying yet. They're actually expected to provide an update in the morning. Flight Radar 24 says there could be more flights canceled, and these airlines have huge impacts for people flying across the world.
The business model of Emirates and Qatar Airways and Etihad Airways, which is based in Abu Dhabi, they are designed to connect anywhere in the world in about 2 flights. So if you want to get from Seattle to Delhi, you could fly Emirates from Seattle to Dubai and then connect on to Delhi.
Now, at this time, we're waiting to see if the State Department will schedule any evacuation flights for Americans that are trapped in the region right now. We know that the government is telling them to shelter in place at this time. Sylvia Terrence, back to you.
All right. Thanks for that, Chelsea. And joining us now to talk about developments is DePaul University professor Tom Makaitis. Tom, thanks for joining us once again. Let's start with the president. He said he expects these strikes to go on for another 4 to 5 weeks until all goals are achieved. So is this more than just nuclear weapons or a regime change? What is going on here?
I think that's the question everybody's struggling with, and the signals out of Washington have been confusing and at times conflicting. Initially, and now again, it's about nuclear weapons and intercontinental ballistic missiles, which there's no evidence that they have. And yet he has also talked about regime change. He said there will be no boots on the ground. Then now he is not ruling out boots on the ground. So I don't think it's at all clear, except that it is going to be a protracted operation of some kind. You cannot do regime change with standoff attacks.
Let's talk more about that change. The U.S. took out the supreme leader, of course, of 4 other high-ranking leaders as well. The son of the last Shah says he is the best one to take over. How realistic is that?
I think that's wishful thinking. His father was removed by the Islamic Revolution in 1979 because of his oppressive regime. It's highly unlikely that he's going to be welcomed back. You know, people keep talking here about, well, the Iranian people as though they're a monolithic body that can rise up as one with a clear set of goals and a definite leader. They're very divided ethnically, religiously, politically, in every which way. And simply ordering them to come out and take over their government. We tried this in Iraq. We got to Baghdad, removed Saddam, and said, well, okay, now democracy is going to result. Democracy doesn't pop up like a daffodil after a spring rain. It takes a long time, and it has to happen organically. Now, we could facilitate it, but I don't see, given all the damage we're doing, that that's very likely.
So let's talk about this. Congress is set to vote on a war powers resolution this week meant to limit the president's military operations in Iran. How tough is this going to be? And doesn't the U.S. Constitution say America can't be at war without a vote of Congress?
That's correct. But the fact is that since the Second World War, many U.S. presidents have declared that some kind of an emergency and exercised military power without the approval of Congress, going into Panama, going into Grenada, the first Gulf War, and so on. There was limited approval and so on. But the thing is that what's to stop him? He'll simply veto that law if by some strange fluke it happens to make it through. And what he's shown so far is he just seems to defy the courts and anybody else. So unless there's a way to get him to stop, which I don't see, he will continue right along. And I'm afraid the Republican majority in both houses will allow that. And so they will block any effort to restrict his powers.
You mentioned approval. A new Reuters poll shows only 27% of Americans approve of the military strikes on Iran, and it found the majority of the public is either against the operation or they're just undecided right now. Historically, how have past presidents handled this in trying to convince Americans that this was necessary?
Well, he hasn't really. That's an interesting observation, because that's the one thing he has not done. He has not gone before the American people to make a compelling argument that this is necessary and urgent. You notice that he put it in his remarks into a Medal of Honor ceremony where there's no opportunity to ask him questions or anything else. There's been no address to the American people, such as George W. Bush did, before the invasion of Iraq and so on. I think what he's counting on is if it turns out well, if it turns out like Venezuela, which is highly unlikely, that the electorate will forget it, and by the time they vote in the fall, never mind in 2028, they will have moved back to issues of domestic policy and quality of life and will not care very much. The issue is, though, these wars are much easier to start than they are to end, and the consequences of this is going to ripple for a long time.
Tom Makaitis with DePaul University. Thank you, as always, for joining us this afternoon.
Happy to help.
Wall Street moved in both directions today. Stocks had gains and losses. Tech companies helped steady the market even with the war going on overseas. Oil prices rose about $80 a barrel. Exxon and Chevron both traded higher. Defense stocks also went up.
Still to come, Tia is speaking with a Chicago couple stranded by this conflict. They share details of seeing missiles in the air and much more. That's just ahead.
Plus, at 78, a major groundbreaking is hours away in Chicago, but one group says a major voice is being left behind.
And Amazon drones are coming to the south suburbs. What this means for the future of on-demand delivery.
It's starting the day with hope. Knowing you're in the right place. Having access to advanced treatments and the most experienced cancer experts. When you're facing cancer, it's not just one thing that makes the difference. It's everything. The big, the small, the unexpected that helps you keep moving forward. Advocate Healthcare. Cancer care that makes the difference.
responsible for the content of this ad.
Breaking news, Chicago has just been named a frontrunner to host the 2028 Democratic National Convention. This is Chicago's bid video that was sent in. The Democratic National Committee says Atlanta, Boston, Denver, and Philadelphia also under consideration. Chicago hosted the last convention in 2024. That was the first time since 1996.
Amazon's taking deliveries to another level. Soon in the south suburbs, you could get your package dropped from the sky.
Casey is live at the Tinley Park Convention Center with an explanation of how it works. Hey, Casey.
Hey, Terrence and Sylvia, this could be the future of on-demand delivery. This summer, Amazon is preparing to launch this drone delivery service in Markham and Matson. And today we got to see what could soon be flying over your neighborhood. Now, the drone itself is a whole lot bigger than we expected, weighing in at about 80 pounds. Community members also got a first look today at the Tinley Park Convention Center where it was on display. When the service goes live, residents who live within an 8-mile radius of the Markham and Matson Amazon distribution centers will be able to select the drone delivery option. There is an extra fee of $4.99 for Prime members, and items will be delivered within 2 hours. The drone itself won't land, but will hover close to the ground and release the package. They'll only operate during daylight hours. The drones are fully autonomous, but will be monitored by a Prime Air team. There is no set launch date just yet, but expect the service to take flight this summer.
If you select it, then you will get basically an aerial image of your house, like a Google Earth look of your property. It'll have predetermined delivery points, and you can select which one. A lot of people prefer the backyard because it is safer, a lot more private, so people prefer that. Check out like normal Amazon order, and within 2 hours, you'll see this coming over your yard and dropping off your package for you.
There will be 12 drones stationed at each warehouse. They will only be able, though, to deliver one package at a time. The service is already launched in other cities, including the Detroit area and Kansas City. Reporting live in Tinley Park, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
Thank you, Casey. A major auto insurance company is promising refunds. We have details just ahead.
Plus, our area once again leading the way when it comes to companies moving in.
Not
Time for action.
Welcome back. We're still catching you up on the day. The Chicago Fire getting ready to break ground on a new stadium, but not everyone's happy about this.
Live Nation's getting called out. Their grip on the music game is on the line in court.
But first, a Chicago pastor and his wife are caught in the middle of a rapidly escalating war in the Middle East tonight.
They landed in Dubai for a visit. Suddenly it was sirens, missiles, airports shutting down. Tia, they were supposed to fly out today.
Yeah, they were. That clearly didn't happen. We ended up interviewing them. They're not using the word fear, but they are very concerned about the situation over there in the Middle East. The Rawlings were supposed to be flying home today. The airport reopened just a few hours ago, but just moments before they were sightseeing in Dubai, taking in the skyline, enjoying the calm. Then missiles were intercepted overhead, and in an instant, getting back home to Chicago, no longer an option.
Everybody's supposed to seek shelter. Everybody is out of the rooms and everything like that. There was a missile, an interception, intercepted a missile in the air, and the debris fell and tore up a couple of cars. And so we saw police out there. You could see the cars damaged, looked like they had been in an accident.
So Apostle Ronald Rawlings and his wife Amis, founders of Great Faith Revelation Church on Chicago's South Side, traveled to Abu Dhabi for ministry work, mixing business with a little tourism. They traveled to Dubai. Rawlings says they were in their hotel when the war began. Then came the sirens. Guests were ordered to evacuate. Rawlings says this wasn't a drill. While traveling from Dubai back to Abu Dhabi, a drive of about 1 hour and 15 minutes, he saw the reality of the conflict up close and personal. He says air defense systems intercepted repeated attacks overhead. The Rawlings are now sheltering in Abu Dhabi with the help of a fellow minister. Their flight home was scheduled for today, but when they got to the airport, they were greeted by the military. He says what's most heartbreaking is the unknown.
So the building's empty, and pretty much you have to wait it out until something changes. And that's an emotional roller coaster. 1 minute you're feeling okay, and then the next minute, you're thinking about your children, and you're starting to miss home.
He was very emotional there. The United Arab Emirates says its air defense systems have intercepted hundreds of missiles and drones as Iran continues retaliatory strikes across the region. One person was killed in Abu Dhabi, and regional tensions remain high there. For now, the Rawlings are waiting. Airspace reopened hours ago, but they still don't know when they can return back home right here to Chicago. I did tell them, Terrence and Sylvia, of course, we'll be keeping them in our prayers.
Absolutely, Tia. Thank you. And with everything intensifying overseas, D.C. is locked in a standoff over Homeland Security money. Democratic leaders just got a counteroffer from the White House. They're checking it out. They're still split. Immigration enforcement is holding it all up.
We believe immigration enforcement should be fair and just and humane. And until that changes, the DHS funding bill is not going to move forward.
Who are Democrats siding with? Right? They are siding with our enemies. They are making us less safe. They are defunding Homeland Security, standing in the way of the president.
Republicans say the heat from Iran might push Democrats to move. The House is set to vote on that DHS money this week.
A major legal showdown is brewing between Live Nation and the Justice Department. The government claims the concert giant illegally monopolized booking and ticketing, driving up prices for fans. Jury selection began this morning in New York. They will be tasked with deciding if Live Nation violated antitrust laws, and if so, the company could face potential penalties, that is, ranging from fines to restrictions on their contracts, and the most extreme circumstance, possibly a spin-off of Ticketmaster from Live Nation. This trial is expected to last 4 to 6 weeks.
Chicago Fire is breaking ground on their new stadium tomorrow, but today a group stepped up to say something's missing. They call themselves CBA for 78. Now, CBA stands for Community Benefits Agreement. This group wants to make sure neighbors around the project don't get left behind. They want plans for transit, affordable housing, protection for local businesses. That covers the south end of the project and Chinatown. Today's rally was at Pinktown Park.
As the plan stands today, there will be 0 changes to the existing public transportation infrastructure. No new bus, no added service, no L stop, not even opening Clark Street for car access. This message is very clear. The 78 is not for everyday Chicagoans. It's for rich people. Members of this coalition were not invited to the groundbreaking. They've certainly heard from us about the importance of including community voices, and we'd like them to hear us.
How are we going to move forward with a plan where we don't even know how our public dollars are going to be allocated?
The group is pushing for a legally binding deal with City Council.
Mayor Johnson is celebrating some high praise for Chicago. For the 13th consecutive year, Site Selection magazine named us the top U.S. city for corporations to relocate. The mayor joined World Business Chicago today for that announcement. The annual ranking is based on corporate projects and is a measure of investment activity. Mayor Johnson says this news verifies how good Chicago is at attracting corporations and creating jobs.
Companies choose Chicago because of our infrastructure, our talent, our research capability, and unparalleled global connectivity. And that is a hard recipe for other cities to replicate.
Illinois ranked number 2 among states for corporate expansion projects.
All right, let's take you back outside, take a deep breath, breathe and whatnot. Emily, did I see you post something the other day about the sun setting later soon or something?
I sure did.
Flip back?
Yes.
The 8th?
We are, what'd you say about the 8th?
The 8th? March 8th?
Oh, yes,
that?
March 8th. March 8th. So
daylight,
next Sunday
yeah.
is daylight saving time.
Stop.
But this is the one that we spring
Yes,
forward.
go
So we're
on.
losing that hour.
Okay.
However, if you want to talk about sunset times, this is a good thing for us, right? Because that means that the sunset's getting a little bit later.
Yes.
Plus,
Hey-o.
throughout the entire month of March, we're gaining over 80 minutes of daylight.
Okay.
That's
great
good,
news,
right?
yes.
It's all good news over here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, temperatures out there right now, we are ranging from 30s at the northeastern Illinois lakefront, so 39 degrees in Chicago, 35 in Waukegan, but we're up to 50 in places like LaSalle, 46 in Valparaiso. It's 47 degrees currently for Kankakee and Rensselaer. Futurecast taking us throughout the remainder of this evening and tonight. We're in pretty decent shape. We're going to see increasing cloud cover because, of course, right now we're under mostly clear skies. Tomorrow morning, waking up cloudy, and then we're going to see a couple stray showers moving through. A better push of rain is going to be arriving during the evening hours, especially over the southern portion of the viewing area. So for those of you near and south of I-80, you could be driving home in some rain tomorrow, late afternoon into the evening hours, and then that's going to linger into Tuesday night, possibly into Wednesday as well. For tonight, 32, your 5-day forecast here. Looking okay. Yes, it's going to be very rainy, but it's not going to rain all day long on any of these days. So we just have several systems that are going to be coming through. Here's a good thing, though. Temperatures really moving in the right direction. We're near 50 by Thursday, and then on Friday and Saturday, we are going to be well into the 60s, 67 by Saturday. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Emily. Summertime in the Chi coming up, details on how you can get access to the hottest music festivals for free.
Plus, dinner plans, doctor appointments, and scams. We'll talk about the new digital attack that could be hiding in plain sight on your phone. So get it out. We're going to...
Only at Ashley's Orange Days.
All right. How much do you trust your coworkers?
Here's which ones we are talking about.
Good answer. A team bonding experience is going viral, and I'm not sure if I can trust any of you to complete this challenge.
You ready? Let's take a look at this video. It comes from the Milwaukee Brewers. Video showing pitcher Jacob Mizorowski launching a fastball at an apple on teammate Cooper Pratt's head.
No.
Well, now this guy's a pro, so of course none of us are going to do this. But Jacob is known for pitching at speeds of 104 miles per hour on the mound. I'm more impressed with this guy not twitching, right? Yes. So while the video has people gasping and racing for the share button, the team has admitted the stunt really, it wasn't real, and that the video clip was edited.
I thought we did that on our own to show you a close-up. So they... okay.
Okay, so we would like to do this outward bound thing, and one of us had to fall on.
I would catch you, Sylvia.
Yeah, how about you guys?
I would catch you, yeah.
Catch you?
I didn't have to think about it. I don't know why I had to pause like that.
I understand what she was saying.
Yeah, basically.
I would do that with coworkers, the fall.
Trust fall?
This group,
most of you. Yeah, this group for sure. We're good.
Yeah, this group is
prefaced with most of you.
All right, this next trend is a digital headache that could land some of us in trouble.
Yes, the calendar con is turning mobile calendars into spam central. This is crazy.
People seeing fake events pop up all over, and then some of those links attached to that are just looking to steal your information. So, you know, scammers just getting smarter by the day. This thing can hit you once, or it can flood your entire schedule. So don't panic. T-Lee got you.
What do we do?
Grab your phone. Open settings and check your calendars. If you don't recognize any event in there, take it out. Don't hit anything in it to be like,
what is
I
that?
might know this person.
How did it get there? That's what I want to know.
They get there when you go to another website. So when you're on Instagram and you see some random product that you think is cool, you open up that link. Then that link can sometimes go right and attach something to your calendar. It's very quick.
Thank you. I'm not doing that anymore.
So just go check your calendar right now. So if you got some random Linda's birthday in there, you know that, or you don't know Linda.
I have a lot of birthdays now that I think about it in my
calendar.
calendar.
But they automatically put people's birthdays on your calendar
from Facebook,
anyway.
yes. But still, double check.
All right. Don't click on anything.
Yes.
All right, I got it. All right, the Actor Awards red carpet rolled out in style this weekend, and while Tiana Taylor is known for her bold glamour, it's actually her daughter.
So
that's trending right now.
I am not surprised by this. 5-year-old Ruth was her day for the evening. Look at her. She was caught posing for the camera. She also fixed her mom's gown, and during an interview, she was quite blunt, telling reporters she feels sorry for the actors that lose to her mom.
Look at her posing.
She's so
cute. Gosh, and she was on the red carpet, and she took the microphone, and she was answering all the questions. Yes.
I love when people bring their family members.
Yeah, look at
that. I mean, she knows
her mom in tears. I'm seeing this, Tia, I'm seeing this with you in story, totally.
I can see it, 100%.
One of the stars from Sinners, Miles, I believe his first name is, he brought his grandma. So you know grandma was telling Herschel and all them and Brenda, baby, I'm going to the SAG Awards.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, though.
All right, still to come. You may have seen this on social media. State Farm is giving customers some cash back. This is not a rumor, y'all. We don't do that around here. We give facts. We got the details when we come back.
Right. It is a beautiful day, but tomorrow morning could be a picturesque one. Why you may want to wake up early to stargaze.
But right now, we'll see how the roads are looking. A lot of green out there. Some red spots. I don't know what that means. We'll be right back.
There's no... A major celestial event is happening tomorrow morning. The full worm moon total lunar eclipse will be in the sky, and these images are from the worm moon last year. You thought they looked familiar, didn't you? These are showing a unique reddish color, which happens when a full moon is eclipsed. The eclipse will happen at about 3 in the morning, with the full moon expected to peak at around 4 a.m. Emily, the question is, will we be able to see it, those of us who decide to get up, which won't be any of us here?
It's going to be close. Okay. So we have increasing cloud cover that's expected through the overnight. So some parts of the viewing area may get lucky, but I wouldn't hold your breath.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not setting my alarm.
I was going to say, well, then I'm just going to sleep in.
Yeah, I wouldn't... Unless it's really on your bucket list, you know.
Yeah, no.
But I'm not thinking that we have good luck for tonight.
I'll look at
exactly
photos
afterwards.
Yeah. We can just wait on maybe the next round for us. That'll be a better opportunity, because yes, we have increasing cloud cover tonight. We have several rain chances in your forecast this week. It's not going to be raining all the time this week, but we're going to have several waves coming through. The first one beginning tomorrow. Specifically, I think more so during the afternoon and evening hours, we're going to start to see some rain lifting north into the area. So for those of you near and south of I-80, you could be driving home from work or school in some rain tomorrow, and then that's going to last into Wednesday. We'll have other spotty showers and thunderstorms coming through on Thursday, another wave on Friday night, and then that's going to take us into Saturday. But again, it's not going to be raining all day long. This is just going to be one of those weeks that we really have to keep the umbrellas handy. Here's what we're talking as far as how much precipitation through this week. So remember, this is going to be spread out over multiple days from Tuesday through Saturday. And it's looking like, at least through the end of the day on Friday, most of us are going to be seeing around 1.25 inches to about 1.5 inches of accumulation. So it should be a nice amount of rainfall for us to where we don't have to really be concerned about flooding. I think we should be in pretty decent shape. Now, the drought monitor, this is something that we really haven't checked in on recently, but notice all locations here that you don't see highlighted in yellow. That means that we're in really good shape. We're not considered to be abnormally dry. From the Chicago area back toward most of DuPage County, kind of rounding the lake into portions of northwest Indiana, Lake Porter, LaPorte County in great shape. But notice the farther south that you go and farther west from the lakefront, we start to see those abnormally dry conditions popping up. And actually, for those of you in far southwestern LaSalle County, you're considered to be in a severe drought. So not a bad thing that we have some rain in the forecast this week. Your high temperatures, they topped out anywhere from the 30s in places like Waukegan, 41 at the Chicago lakefront, but 50 in Joliet, 51 in LaSalle, 43 in Gary, 46 in Merrillville, same thing in Valparaiso. So we had this really wide range of temperatures today, and here's where we're headed. So we should kind of even things out tomorrow. Most of us are going to be in the low to mid 40s Tuesday and Wednesday. By Thursday, we're near 50, and then jumping into the 60s late this week. Your satellite and radar, things are quiet for now, but Futurecast showing increasing cloud cover. So again, if you're hoping to see that moon, I don't think we're going to be so lucky out there for most areas, because we should wake up fairly cloudy out there. We're going to see scattered rain showers, possibly in the morning, but better chance is going to be moving in during the evening into the overnight. A couple heavier downpours possible, mainly near and south of I-80. And then going into Wednesday, again, not raining all day. We're going to start off mainly dry, but then we'll get another push of rainfall coming our direction during the afternoon. And then that's going to linger into the evening and the overnight. So your 7-day forecast, 43 degrees tomorrow, 46 on Wednesday. Thursday, again, we still have that chance of showers, possibly a couple thunderstorms late Friday, and then lasting into Saturday morning. But temperatures going into this weekend, it looks really, really nice and mild. We're expected to be in the mid to upper 60s on Friday and Saturday. We'll be right back.
controller.
Special celebration in the city today. It's Pulaski Day.
And the Polish Museum of America in Westtown went all out for the party. Had live acts and videos. Shout out to Mayor Johnson and Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas joined that celebration. Pulaski Day honors General Casimir Pulaski. He was born in Poland, but is revered for his efforts while serving as a general during the Revolutionary War. Illinois made Pulaski Day a state holiday in 1973, and it is celebrated on the first Monday of March every year.
May the magnificent spirit of General Casimir Pulaski continue to inspire all Americans with a sense of duty to country, pride, a spirit of mission, and the never-ending struggle for human dignity and freedom.
City offices and public buildings stay shut for this day.
All right, books are getting some love today. National Read Across America Day is here. The whole point is to get everyone reading something new. Secretary of State Alexi Giannulli has teamed up with the Illinois Literacy Foundation and donated 2,000 books to YMCA spots across the city.
Access to books should not depend on zip codes. Encouragement to read should depend not on income. We want every child to deserve to see themselves reflected in books. We want them to imagine their futures beyond what they can see today. So when we put books into children's hands and surround them with adults who read with them consistently and joyfully, we are not only teaching letters and sounds, we're building confidence, curiosity, and resilience.
It is not only Read Across America Day, y'all. It's also Dr. Seuss's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Dr. Seuss. Oh, the places you shall go. If you are having issues with your NIPSCO bill, the final of a series of community customer care centers is now open. NIPSCO representatives will be at the Dean and Barbara White Community Center in Maryville tonight until 7 o'clock.
All right, it's time to fine-tune those resumes. Chicago's biggest music festivals will be coming together this Wednesday at a hiring fair. It's happening at Malcolm X College from 3 to 7. Applications will be available for positions in artist relations, hospitality, event security. The list goes on. Chicago businesses looking to vend at Lollapalooza and Sueños Music Festival are also encouraged to attend. So I think I'll take the day Wednesday.
There you go. Festival
season. Can you imagine artist relations? I can just go get the water for
whomever you want,
whomever.
Right?
Cat's Eye or somebody. You know what Cat's Eye is?
I have heard of Cat's Eye.
What is it?
It's a group, isn't it? Yes.
Thanks for watching the first at 4.
So tough on me, isn't he? The 5 o'clock news will start right after this national update.
Good evening, I'm Bill Malugin, and this is your Fox News Report. President Trump says the attack on Iran is moving much faster than expected, hitting more than 1,200 targets.
This was our last best chance to strike what we're doing right now and eliminate the intolerable threats.
Among them, Iran's entire naval fleet of 11 ships. Iran striking at least 9 countries all across the region. 3 American warplanes were shot down by friendly fire, but thankfully everyone survived. However, 6 other service members have been killed. Police in Texas say a weekend shooting could have ties to terrorism. A man wearing an Iranian flag shirt shot and killed 2 people and injured 14 others in Austin early Sunday. The FBI and DHS are warning about lone wolf attacks as strikes in Iran continue. Video of Bill and Hillary Clinton's depositions now out in the open. The House Oversight Committee releasing video of last week's testimony related to Jeffrey Epstein.
I do think you should be talking to me. I think you should have called me. I did take those plane trips with him, and you have a right to ask